Welcome to the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the show, leave a comment, and click that like button. Welcome back to the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. This is the Marvelous One, back at it again with Don and Philosophikal. Today we're going to discuss the AFC South and give our predictions for the upcoming season. So, looking at last season with this division, right? We had the Jags that won it at 9-8. Titans went 7-10. Colts 4-12, and the Texans are 3-13. So pretty bad division, especially with the Titans losing 7 straight down the stretch, and the Jags going on a bit of a run. That was pretty impressive how the Jags came back to win this division. But before we get into that, I saw something interesting on ESPN. Stephen A. Smith gave his top 5 teams in NFC, and I thought his list was really interesting. I don't know if I would change much on it. Well, I would change one thing in it, but let me give you the list. The list was, the Eagles number 1, 49ers number 2, Cowboys number 3, which I disagree with, Vikings as the 4th best team in the NFC, and he had the Saints as the 5th best team. Now, I'm a Saints fan. I love my Saints. I don't know if we're the 5th best team in the conference. Maybe by technicality, because somebody's got to win the NFC South. So I can see that, okay, 5th best team. But really, I don't know. What you guys think of that? Agree or disagree?
That's tough because you got 2 teams in the NFC East. I'm probably kind of on par with that. I don't have a problem with that. Based off of last year,
Do you think the Cowboys are better than the Vikings?
No.
I don't think so either.
Let's go ahead and put that out there right now. I mean, we're not going to be these other shows.
Who would you replace them with?
Who I would have replaced the Cowboys with?
Yeah, in the NFC.
The Vikings.
Vikings are already on that list.
Yeah,
yes,
but
we got to move them up.
You got to move them up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was saying I agree with the 5 teams he named. You're just not agreeing with the order. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not agreeing with the order.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were
read that order again.
I thought you were talking about the teams itself. If you would take a team out
or
replace it.
I told you. I only thing I would change would be where the Cowboys are. I don't think they're the 3rd best team behind the Eagles and 40. I would just move them down.
Move them down. Okay.
I would move them down.
My question is, I thought you were looking to replace one of these teams with another team where you felt that was better. Okay. All right. Well, Vikings 3rd over the. I mean, I can see that. Yeah.
Okay.
That would probably be the one change. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about this, considering that we did the NFC already, and we kind of went through the whole list of our teams and stuff like that. And, a lot of you guys are high on the Lions. I wonder if you would replace any of these teams with the Lions or Seahawks.
Go by that list again, because I'm about to touch on it. I want to make sure I heard you correctly.
Okay, so you had the Eagles number 1. I don't think anybody disagrees with that.
No disagreement.
Okay. You had the 49ers number 2, right?
No disagreement.
No disagreement with that. Cowboys number 3. I don't agree.
Hit the bricks. Don't. Okay, now who's behind Cowboys?
Vikings, and then Saints.
Okay, where the Seahawks in there?
Seahawks aren't in it.
I would probably, 5. If I were to make a change, I would probably put the Seahawks over the Saints.
You'll put the Seahawks over the Saints.
If we were getting technical, Seahawks. No Seahawks over the Saints.
No, I wouldn't do it.
But the Seahawks make the list.
You think the Seahawks make the list?
Yes.
Who are you taking out?
I would drop the Cowboys down dramatically. They have no run game.
So wait a minute. Do you have the Cowboys better than the Saints?
No. I would drop the Cowboys out.
So you have the Saints better than the Cowboys?
Yes.
Wow.
You hold on. You don't? You don't?
No, the Cowboys are better than the Saints.
You're tripping.
Cowboys are better. They're fifth, but they're better than the Saints. I would take the Saints out.
Their defense is going to be exhausted
Saints didn't
because
even
the
win their division
offense.
last year.
Yes, because they didn't have a quarterback. They got a quarterback this year.
Mm.
Hello?
I think the Cowboys are a tad better than the Saints. They're not like overbearingly better, but I think they're a tad better than the Saints.
I'm tired of hearing about the Cowboys. They haven't done anything. We need to stop the
That's true.
madness.
That's true. The
That's
Saints
true.
haven't done anything either.
The Cowboys haven't done anything in the playoffs.
Well,
They haven't done it. They've made the playoffs consistent.
They went to the second round last year.
Yeah, but I mean, they've had teams that had a lot of success in the regular season and hadn't done anything in the playoffs.
They had success because of the way the schedule was set up. We talk about this, and we're gonna get into how a schedule can help you and give you the illusion that you are a Super Bowl contender.
Well, we're about to touch on that anyway because the schedule was favorable for the NFC East last season because they played the AFC South, which is the division we're going to cover today. So let's kind of change things around. I'll go first. Since Phil normally goes first, I'll go first. I know I'm normally the cleanup man, cleaning up the foolishness you guys leave.
I don't mind cleaning up your foolishness.
That's never going to be anything to clean up for me. So, let's look at this. So last season, as I just mentioned, interconference play was against the NFC East. So they played a tough division. So there wasn't a lot of games won out of the AFC South, right? So they played the NFC East, and intra-conference play was against the AFC West. So even tougher, right? They played the Chiefs, they played the Chargers. So in the 17th game, they played against a team from the NFC North. So that's kind of how the schedule was broke down last season. Now, I felt like, and I was big on the Titans last season. The Titans started off pretty well. It was 7-4 at one point in the season, and they just fell apart. Tannehill lost 2 straight, and then he got injured. I'm trying to remember which game was that when I think he got injured in a loss against the Chargers. It was against the Chargers. And then they lost 5 straight because Malik Willis was not the guy that they thought he would be. He did not look good last season. I'm hoping this kid can figure it out. And then they had to play the final game of the season because they benched Malik Willis and played it with some guy that was selling insurance. I can't remember who the quarterback was. And I mean, I don't remember. Was it life insurance or was it car insurance? I don't know. But I mean, maybe it was Jake from State Farm. I don't know. But they even went into the game against the Jags, the game that the winner was going to the playoff, and still nearly won that game to go to the playoffs. Didn't win it, but they were close. And so, I know a lot of people hinge a team's success on the quarterback, but I like to hinge it on the quarterback combination of the coach. I like Mike Vrabel as the Titans head coach. He's a great coach, and things just kind of fell apart last season because he lost his guy, Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill is back this season, and they're playing with a second-place schedule, not a first-place schedule, because the Jags won the division last season. So it's not going to be as hard as the Jags schedule is going to be. Jags got a lot of tough games. The Titans, not so much. And so now you got Derrick Henry back along with D-Hop, right? So he should help that passing attack. And so I'm predicting the Titans to win this division, to get things back in order the way it's supposed to be in the AFC South. The Titans are the best team in this division. They're going to win it with a 10-7 record. Got the Titans. Second, okay, I mean, this is obvious. It's the Jaguars, right? Because the Texans and the Colts, well, especially the Colts are a dumpster fire. So I got the Jags coming in second, right? I just think schedule's too tough. Tannehill probably is going to hit a wall. Good quarterback, but and soon to be a great quarterback, but he's going to hit a wall. He's got to play the Chiefs, the Bills.
You mean Trevor Lawrence, right?
I said Trevor. Who did I say?
Tannehill.
I meant Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence. He's going to have to play the Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, and 49ers. The Titans do not have to play those teams. This is because the Jags now have a first place schedule. I'm predicting the Jags to go 8-9. The only reason they made the playoffs last season is because the Titans fell apart and they won 6 straight, including the playoff game against the Chargers. Jaguars are good, up and coming team, just too hard this season. And looking at the over and under, the Jags are predicted to win 9.5 games. I don't see that happening. I think they're going to go with the under on this. And going back to the Titans, over and under on them is 7.5. I think Vegas is sleeping on them. I think the Titans are going to win way more of the games than 7.5. So going back, Titans win the division. Jags will be second. I mean, do I really care what happens with the other two teams? Yeah, I do, because I like the Texans. I like what the Texans did in the draft. I like D'Amico Ryans as their head coach. I love what they did. They got a defensive player. They got their quarterback. They made some smart moves. The Texans should be better. So I got the Texans. I figure they're going to win about 6 games. They're going to double the number of games that they won last season. They won 3. I see them going 6-11. And lastly, the complete dumpster fire, the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, right now, with the whole Jonathan Taylor thing going on, I feel sorry for Anthony Richardson because I like the decision to go with him, to take a chance, to be risky. The potential of this guy is sky high, right? The ceiling is through the roof, but the floor is god awful. So he's going to be one or the other. I don't think he's going to be in the middle. He's either going to be really, really good or really, really bad. But hell, take the shot. I mean, what do you got to lose? Take a shot. You didn't have the number 1 overall pick to get Bryce Young. Take a shot on a guy that has the potential to be something special. This guy, athleticism is off the chart, but I don't think it's off the charts to fix this complete dumpster fire. Not this year. Maybe sometime down the road. I mean, he's that type of a quarterback where I think he can elevate things if he's really that good. But yeah, I think this team is a dumpster fire. They lost 7 straight last season, including, a loss of 54-19 loss to the Cowboys. And then the largest comeback in NFL history. What was it? 33 points, Phil, to your Vikings? 33-0 at halftime, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So this team, do they have any heart? Do they even care? Well, they got a new head coach. Maybe things have changed, but I don't see it. I don't see them making dramatic improvements. I think they're going to be about the same. They're going to be 4-13 as they was that last season. They were 4-13, and I think the Texans were 3-14 last season. So, I got Titans, Jags, Texans, Colts. Go ahead, shoot. What y'all got to say?
I'm
you
gonna
love
say,
it,
man. First of all, your picks stink. Let's go and put that out there.
Somebody get some Febreze.
Yes, for real, because it's horrific up in this spot. I'm trying to see how you're doing your analysis, because I can almost guarantee that Phil's gonna have a totally different list, and and rightfully so, Marv, because I think you went with a little bit of feelings on this. And
really?
Yeah.
What part of it?
I'm kind of ashamed. I mean, once I get to mine, then
well,
you'll see.
You go next. Go next.
No. Phil can go, because I want to wrap everything up. I didn't do my homework on this.
No, Phil said he wanted to go last. Let Phil go last. He went first past couple of weeks. You go ahead.
Okay.
Go next.
All right. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So you talked about the schedule. I got the Jaguars being number 1, and I got them doing 10-7. But after they got rid of the Urban Meyer problems and things of that nature, I think their coaching situation is kind of solid. Trevor Lawrence, he posted a 103 QBR, and now you're looking at his touchdowns and interception ratio. He's doing pretty good. And this division, we've already talked about it. It's trash. So before, I'm looking at things, and 4 consecutive, last place finishes. I got it. The Jaguars were not stellar, but they changed things around, and now they got, Ridley back. I'm not going to talk about his situation. I'm going to be positive on this one. I chuckle deeply inside because I mean everybody gambles to some extent, but if he gambled on his own games, then he's wrong for doing that. But he's back, and he's a quality number one receiver. And then that I would say,
Calvin.
yeah. But here's the offensive line is pretty solid, and also their first round defenders, Walker, Lloyd, and I think they're pretty solid, and I think that they're going to do nothing but get better and build on what they had last year. So I got them at 10-7. Now let's talk about this number 2 because this is my dark horse, and I'm going out here saying it now. I wish we was going live because I got my my Lamar jersey on, but I put the Colts. Once they get past the issues with their running back, Jonathan Taylor, and also they got Michael Pittman on the field at the same time, that's going to be an explosive offense. I mean, it's just like having a genie in a bottle, and I got it. We don't have much tape on him because he didn't do much in college, but I think that college is one of those things that it beats you up, and the only person that benefits from it is those big name teams. So I'm looking at that, and I see Lamar Jackson. I see one word: electrifying, and that guy is going to do nothing but. I think it's the best move. We learned from the Ravens: throw them in the fire, get them going early, and then shrink the playbook. And you shrink the playbook by doing those read options, and you got Taylor, who's going to take a lot of pressure off of him. And then they're gonna have to put it in the box. And now you got those receivers that's gonna have to beat them one-on-one on the outside. So I got them doing a lot of great things. So I just think the Colts are gonna be number 2. I got them being 9-8, and I'm being hopeful with that because I want to see Jonathan Taylor because he's not gonna leave no money on the table. We talked about this. The NFL owners, they are malicious in their intent to not pay people, and Taylor's not going to get it because if they're trying to trade him, they're going to trade him on his value on the field. They're not going to trade, but they're not going to pay him. They're not going to trade him like his pay. They're going to trade him like his value. So they're going to want a whole bunch of picks, and then Johnson is going to turn around and he's going to want to be compensated monetarily. I don't think there's a team out there that's going to take a pay hit, meaning give up young draft picks and hitting the bank like that. It's just not going to work out like that. So I think Jonathan is going to come back. He's going to have to suck it up. And I think between him and Pittman, I think they're going to do pretty good. Now let's move down to Tennessee. Tennessee, I got it. They signed Hopkins. So what? So what? He was unhappy. I don't think the relationship is going to work. And I really want to, I want to be positive about it. But
so what?
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and they haven't even decided. Are you Derrick Henry? What are you going to do with him? Are you going to feed the machine? Are you going to be a running quarterback? They do not have an identity, and it's going to take them too long. It's going to take them too long to figure it out. Right now, I'm not living in the past, but let's keep it 100. Titans, they was number 1 back in 2021. But I got it. But they couldn't seal the deal. At the end of the season, Faith came up there and ripped it out. But now, Coach Drabel, I think, is solid. So I think he's going to do some things that's good. I just want to see how he's going to do that run, pass, attack. I don't think they have it together offensively to put it, to any use. And now I got, Houston. Houston, I got them being a +3, 6-11. Dumpster fire. If you got 2 quarterbacks, guess what you got? You got none. And as much as they want to say that, CJ is their quarterback, they still whispering in the locker room about Will. They still whispers about that. And that I think that's disheartening because they waiting for that. But the Texans, sad organization, terrible all around. No more than 4 wins in the past 3, seasons. And now you got 2. If you got 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterback. And I think they're trying to work through that. They're going to work through the draft in order to get better. But Coach Ryans, no, not this year. Maybe They're still in the
Wow.
development. They're still in development stage, and his job is not on the line. I think he just needs to figure out if he's going to stay with CJ, then go ahead and develop him and build from that point. I yield my time back to you, Ma.
Ooh. Who's the two quarterbacks with the Texans? You talking about Davis Mills?
He talking about rookie they just drafted.
Right. Well, who's the other quarterback?
Malik Willis and they drafted the kid Levis.
Oh,
Will
you talking about
Levis.
the Titans?
Titans, yeah, Will Levis.
Oh, the Titans with the multiple quarterbacks. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Texans. I mean, this is CJ Stroud's team. So okay, all right. Yeah, I think that list is trash. But thanks for putting forth the
Hey.
effort, Don.
Hey, we talked about the numbers, but I think you're underestimating the Colts and to have such raw talent. It's like the running quarterback. We talked about this more. It helps out the line when the line breaks down.
Absolutely.
And it gives time for one. It gives that running back because he's gonna get his life. But at the same time, there is no defensive back out there because Dion is not on that field. Nobody's gonna hold somebody for more than 4 to 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen. Things break down in defenses. You find soft spots and zones and things of that nature. And I think that once he learns how to look at the playbook, and like I said before, they have to cut the field in half. And I think that'll help him out. So I see a young Lamar, in the making, and I think that he's going to do great things. But I think that you're drastically underestimating them on what they have as far as potential, especially, Jonathan Taylor, one of the best running backs out there. He's going to help. He's going to help. He's going to give him that relief that he needs.
Okay. Okay. I just think Jonathan Taylor is prepared to sit out the entire season. You know me. I always tell you.
No, you're taking
he has nowhere to go.
Stance. Thank you.
He has nowhere to go. I know, but this is
how much money is he leaving on the table, Mom?
He's going to leave a ton of money on the table. I think it's foolish, but he looks to be determined. So we'll see. Colts 9-8. Wow. Phil, I mean, you the cleanup man. You clean this one up. Wow.
Well,
this one stinks.
Well, all I can say is the party is getting ready to start. Let's get this going, right?
Oh boy.
Let's just keep it real, right? The Jaguars are going to win this division. Let me tell you why. I like Trevor Lawrence. Kyler Ridley was the best free agent signing they did this year. They spent a bunch of money last year on Christian Kirk. They got two dynamic running backs back there. They got a rookie running back they've been raving about. ETN, the offensive line is working. I love their coach. Defense will be a work in progress. So Jaguars will win 10 games this year. Second place, I agree with Don. The Colts, I tell you right now, I think this Jonathan Taylor thing, the reason why they came out and said, hey, you can go out and seek a trade partner. They're not going out seeking one for him. They're like, you want out of here, you go out and seek a trade partner because Anthony Richardson is going to take touches away from him. Mm-hmm. He and Michael Pittman's a valuable wide receiver. Mm-hmm. That defense is legit. I mean, let's not forget they got a good defense. That defense can carry them. There's not a great playbook on Anthony Richardson right now. I think he's going to be very dynamic. And right now Vegas has got them winning 6.5 games, and I think they're going to go over that. I think they're going to win 7 games. Right now, I think the Colts are going to be better than what you think. And let's not forget, right? Who's their coach? Ex-offensive Eagles offensive coordinator. He's a good coach. He built Jalen Hurts.
Shane. There you go.
Shane Steichen. He built Jalen Hurts. He's going to build Anthony Richardson. So they are sleeping on the Colts right now. So I believe in the Colts, right? Now, I tell you what, this next pick is going to be my bold pick of the entire season.
The Texans.
I like the Texans. I like what they're doing. I like CJ Stroud. I mean, he's going to have his rookie struggles. I like Pierce as a running back. They're developing that young core. They spent some money on offensive line. I don't like the fact they got a defensive coach. That scares me a little bit. I like their defense. They've made some moves on the defense. They've made some moves on the defense. That's the only area as far as like the rookie defensive coach I'm a little scared of right now, right? But I like the Titans. I like them. And right now they got Titans winning under 5 games. I think they're going to win 7. I'm sorry, the Texans. I'm sorry. Texans. I think the Texans are going to win 7 games this year. I think that this is going to be my surprise pick of the season right here. The Houston Texans. I think they're going to be better than what people are advertising. I don't think they're the bottom basement of the season. CJ Stroud is going to struggle, but he is better than advertised. That defense is strong. They got a defensive coach. I'm sure he's smart enough coming from the 49ers organization to go out and get you a legit offensive coordinator. So I got them winning 7 games. All right, Titans. This is the thing, right? And I'm going to take a great quote, right, from an illustrious quoter, one of the best quoters I know, the great Marvelous. Hear me out, right? Hear me out.
Okay, okay.
The great Marvelous, right? He talks about Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about Jameis Winston.
Yep.
We have seen 10 years of Tannehill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have
10 years of Tannehill, right?
Talk about it.
Talk about it.
We have seen, and this is never talked about, right?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
You gonna talk about his AFC Championship appearance?
One.
How many has Derek Carr had?
One. Wait a minute. I didn't take your time away. I didn't take your time.
Well, if you're gonna quote me, you got to quote me correctly.
Well, look. I'm just bringing it up.
Go ahead.
We have seen 10 years of Ryan Tannehill.
Yes, he's been good.
What has he done for the Dolphins? What did he do for the Dolphins?
He took them to the playoffs.
Really? He did?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
And they were a dumpster fire. He took them to the playoffs.
Well. Last time I checked, look up the number of playoff appearances he has in Miami, right? But again, look what had one. And he has 1 playoff appearance with
a stacked team. Continue.
With a stacked team and a good coach, supposedly, right?
You said he's
and a good running back. And they went out and spent money on DeAndre Hopkins.
Whoa. I can't let you continue by saying that. That's
go ahead.
Totally incorrect. You said he's only been to the playoffs once with the Titans. That is not true. He's been to the playoffs, I think it's 3 times with the Titans.
Okay.
Not last year, but the year before, they lost in the playoffs to the Chiefs.
That's one. They lost to they lost. Okay.
And then a year before that, they were in the AFC Championship game.
My point is, Ryan Tannehill is extremely average. He's not going to the playoffs because of him, right? He's not a threat at the quarterback for them. He's not a threat at quarterback for them. It's that defense that's carrying him. And Derrick Henry has been running for 2,000 yards those playoff seasons. Go back and look. I'm looking at Tannehill's stats right now, right? Those playoff years, he's barely thrown over 20 touchdowns. He's throwing Daniel Jones' stats. Go look at his seasons. So 10 years of seasons here, right? Okay. 10 years, right? They didn't make any free agency moves. They went out and drafted a quarterback in the 2nd round. He's on his way out. I see this team struggling. I see this team winning 6 games next year. And like I said at the beginning of the season that Vrabel is on the hot seat. I think he's close to losing the locker room. And he's getting ready to lose. Oh yes, Vrabel was on the hot seat. I'm not saying he's getting fired this year, but they don't have a good season this year. He is on the hot seat. So I see the Titans, especially last year, him losing the locker room and losing 7 straight with that team last year. I understand Tannehill got hurt, but that defense, he's a defensive coach. That defense should have carried them at least a few of those games. Right?
And Henry was hurt. Henry was hurt too.
And you got one of the best running backs in the NFL. You got to win games. You got to win games. So I see the Titans taking a real step back this year. 6 games.
So
okay,
Titans went to the playoffs. Titans went to the playoffs in 2019 when Tannehill took over. They went to the.
Did he carry them to the playoffs? Who was the quarterback before he? Who was the quarterback? I don't even count that. So that's really I don't count that.
You gonna let me answer the question? Who was the quarterback? Who was the quarterback?
Mariota, right?
It was
Mariota, right?
He took over Marcus Mariota.
Tannehill didn't take to the playoffs then.
That don't count.
That doesn't count. That does not count. That does not count.
He won 7. He was 7-3. He played the majority of the season.
What's the majority of the season, Mark?
He played 10 games. That's the
They were
majority
already,
of
they were already 7-3.
No, they weren't. He took over and went 7-3 in the 10 games that he played, and then he went 2-1 in the playoffs. He took him to the AFC Championship game. He took over for Marcus Mariota. The reason they brought him in was to replace Marcus Mariota because they knew he wasn't good enough. And he took over. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Took over Marcus Mariota, and then in 2020, he took him to the playoffs again. And then in 2021,
playoffs. He didn't take them to the playoffs.
Well, they weren't doing so well with Marcus Mariota, so Derrick Henry could only do so much.
He did a lot. Actually.
Derrick Henry.
He did a lot, actually.
He did do a lot. Derrick Henry is the man of the team, but you got to have a quarterback.
Okay,
and they couldn't do it with Marcus Mariota.
Okay.
So Tannehill took him to 3 straight playoffs.
Ever. 2020 was his best season ever with Arthur Smith.
So
he took 33.
Hang on.
33 touchdowns.
Hang on. No one's saying Tannehill is Tom Brady. I think you get that all twisted.
I'm not saying he is.
You're trying to suggest you're trying to compare him to Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying that.
I'm not comparing him to Patrick Mahomes.
But I can tell you, I can definitely tell you this: he's better than Jameis Winston and Derek Carr.
But still,
you compared him to these two guys that have struggled to do anything in the regular season.
No. I'm not comparing them. What I'm saying is I'm quoting the great Marvelous to say, hey, we've seen 10 years of this.
Yes, absolutely.
We've seen 10 years of this, right?
Yes.
That's a Marvin line.
Yes.
Yeah, we've seen 2020 was his best season, Marv. 2012, 12 touchdowns thrown. 2013, 24, 2014, 27, 2015, 24, 2016, 19, 2018, 17, 2019, 22, 2020, his best season ever, 33, 2021, 21, and last year, 13, right? The problem is he's an injury-prone quarterback.
But hang on, man, because you just throwing out stats for no reason. And like I told you before, I don't need to throw a lot of yards if I'm winning. I don't need to. No, it's not an injury-prone quarterback. I think last season was the first season he missed a good bit of the season playing. I mean, he had the 1 year with the Dolphins where he blew out his knee when he was taking the team to the playoffs. But far as I can tell, the guy wins. And when he was with the Dolphins, he was winning. He had, even though they didn't make the playoffs, he was 8-8, 2 seasons with the Dolphins, and then they had the season where they made the playoffs. And then the Titans went 3 straight times to the playoffs. So, I mean, look, you can't tell me that's not good quarterback. And regardless if it's putting up big-time numbers like Patrick Mahomes, don't you stay within the game and you win?
What was his QBR,
carried those teams. Yeah, exactly. Come on, Marv.
Talk about his QBR. His QBR is terrible. He's ranked 24th. He's only 49.
Yeah, he's an average quarterback. He's average.
He's better than average. But are you talking about his quarterback rating last season?
Yeah, Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately?
Team was 7-4 with that so-called bad quarterback rating.
That's terrible. That means that he's holding them back.
To me, look, I know you guys only look at the passing yards and the touchdowns you threw and all that stuff. I look at win-losses. I look at your ability to lead your team to wins. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to throw for 500 yards or 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. You got to set your team up to win. Sometimes a lot of these guys throw for a lot of yards because they're throwing their team out of the game.
This is the same person that said Taysom Hill went 5-1 when he was starting. This is the same
7-2.
I'm sorry, 7-2. This is the same person that said you want to talk about win percentages. 7-2 when he was
7-2 was impressive.
It's impressive, right?
He didn't throw for 400 or 500 yards in any of those games. They won.
But Marv, you can't double down and say
that. You can't double down.
Double down on what? What are you talking about?
We're talking about body of work. And
body of work.
You're quick to say, I've seen 10 years of this, and you've given me nothing.
I've seen 10 years of Tannehill, and he's gone to the playoffs 5 times in 10 years.
I'm seeing 10 years of it, and guess what? You can't get me over the hump.
You're not even making any sense. He has won in the 10 years. You're comparing him to Derek Carr, who's only been to the playoffs twice in 10 years. And you're telling me that's good?
A solid team. The Saints are solid this year. They're solid.
But
he's never had that.
But explain to me. So you're going to ignore the 10 years and you're going to tell me that just because he's joining the Saints, he's going to have a better. So
balanced defense.
But you ignored Ryan Tannehill.
But you told me the same. You told me the same thing about Jameis Winston when he left the Bucs, and I told you no. That team with the Bucs are very, very good. He was very, very bad, and he went to the Saints.
That's
and
true.
it's all said the same. It looked the same.
I said
it was. I said that Bucs team is a Super Bowl caliber team, and that team went to the Super Bowl when they got confident quarterback with Tom Brady. Jameis Winston went to the Saints, and he looked the same way. Nothing changed.
He got you on that one, Phil.
Nothing changed.
Oh, and by the way, I believe you need to go back and do your research because Ryan Tannehill's only been to the playoffs 3 times.
No, he went to the playoffs with the Dolphins, man.
Okay, show me what year. I'm looking right at it. He went to the playoffs 2020, 2021.
So hear me out, Phil.
In 2022.
Hear me out, Phil. He didn't play in the playoff game with the Dolphins because he blew out his knee.
Okay. So that goes back and tells me that.
Let me finish before you start trying to talk over me. He was injured. The team was already in the playoffs. He had already.
He's always injured, Marv.
Jesus Christ! There was only 2 seasons in 10 years. You're talking about 2 seasons in 10 years. He's been injured.
He was injured last year, Marv.
No, that's the second season.
And he was injured 2 seasons in Miami. That's 3 years.
He was only injured at one time. He blew out his knee, man. He got hit low. So, dude, if you're gonna quote me correctly. Don't just be throwing out. You did not quote me correctly.
We've seen 10 years of this.
I know, and we've seen success.
Your definition of success is a little bit vague, Bob, but
really, what's your definition of success?
It is.
Especially when you're comparing it to the quarterbacks you just compared it to, that one never even got to the damn playoffs. The other only been to the playoffs. Only been to the playoffs 2 times out of 10 years and couldn't get out of the first round. And you comparing it to a guy that's been there 4 times, and 1 time was the AFC Championship game.
You got Phil. There's a time when you got to bring home the bacon, baby. Right
Absolutely.
Now, he ain't bringing home the bacon.
So let me ask you this, Don.
He can't finish. If they say all honey, no dip, you give him the sauce at the top of the line, he falls down. But guess what? You honey dip and you miss the layup. Honey, all finger, no roll.
Let me ask you this. I mean, you bring a very good point. So that means Dan Marino's trash. John Kelly. Jim Kelly's trash. Charles Barkley's trash.
Jim Kelly went to 4 Super Bowls.
I know, but he didn't stick his fingers in what you said, the dip and the honey. How many
Super Bowls Tannehill been to?
I mean, I'm just saying. Look, everybody's not going to win the Super Bowl.
Dan Marino. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna talk about Dan Marino. Yes, you didn't get the job done.
He didn't get the job done. No, did Jim Kelly. Didn't get the job done.
Same thing with Charles Barkley. You did not get the job done. It's just like what I sent y'all.
Well, let me clear one thing up to my listeners. I'm not comparing Ryan Tannehill to these guys because those guys are Hall of Famers. They are great. Let me
Facts.
Correct. Put that disclaimer out there. Go ahead,
Don. But if you don't finish, you don't finish. Charles Barkley is the first one to tell you, I did not finish. I should have won that year when I was in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
We were stacked. Him and Kenny talked about that. We were stacked. We could not win.
And lost to the Jazz.
And that's where I'm going with that. Exactly. So and Dan Marino, so what? You guess what? You're putting up a whole bunch of points, and at the end of the day,
doesn't get wins.
Exactly.
You making my point.
I just want to clear this Jameis Winston quote Marv continues to bring up. What I said was, to clarify for the listeners.
Please clarify.
What I said was the year Drew Brees retired. I said when Jameis Winston went to the Saints, he would be a viable starting quarterback. He's going to be better than average because Saints have a better team. Right? That's all I said.
No, I didn't say that is not what you said.
I didn't say Jameis Winston was the best quarterback.
Yes,
to come. No, I did not. I said he will be and I've said the same thing with Derek Carr. He is an upgrade. And this is why I said Derek Carr is going to have a good year.
Upgrade over who?
I don't know. Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston.
Oh, Jameis Winston. Yes, he's an upgrade over
Derek Carr, yes, is better than
Hold on.
Jameis Winston. Yes.
Hey, it's funny that hearing y'all two argue because both of y'all have quarterbacks that are going to win, and you're trashing them. You trash Cousins, and now you're trashing Carr. Y'all two are just the same.
Derek
No,
Carr,
no,
Derek
no.
Carr.
It's amazing.
Don, let's look at you want to quote me. Make sure you quote me correctly. Right? You got 10 years of Derek Carr and you got 10 years of Kirk Cousins. Who do you think's career has been better? You got to think
like
about
that?
this.
No, that's Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. It's not even close.
Kirk Cousins.
Stop
of course,
Stop
Kirk
it.
Cousins has also had the better team.
You're going to tell me about trashing.
The better team.
You wanted me to trash somebody. You want me to talk about trashing somebody that's not performed well, whose career history shows you has not had a lot of success. I'm not trashing. I'm just brilling up the facts.
But you don't want to.
I'm not trashing Kirk Cousins because he's had success, even with a dumpster fire in Washington. He had success.
In the teams he was on, though, Marv. You're miraging that fact.
Okay. So
you're miraging that fact, Marv. He was on a bad Raiders team, terrible Raiders teams.
I saw Kirk Cousins with a bad Washington Redskins team and take them to the playoffs.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God!
Phil, hold on.
So it was the Raiders' fault.
Because right now,
yes, it was.
Hold on, Phil. But we already talked about them. We in the AFC South, and right now I need Marv to explain to me because this is another pick.
Sure.
Why do you not believe in the Colts?
Why do I not believe in the Colts? Well, their best player is sitting out and demanding the trade, and you guys think for whatever reason the third preseason game now they're about 2 weeks away from the regular season, and this guy is not planning to come back in, and somehow you think he's going to come in and be stellar. Now, amazingly, you told me Saquon Barkley, who did re-sign, you told me he would be upset and would perform well, right? I'm just quoting you guys. You said he would be mad. So you telling me Jonathan Taylor, who is demanding a trade, who has set out, and we're in the third preseason game now, doesn't look like this guy's coming back. And somehow he's going to be happy and smiling to be back because eventually he's going to have to come back. He can't
he's
go
on the field. He's in the locker room.
Well, first of all, Saquon Barkley demanded a trade and said he was going to sit out the whole season. Then the week after, they paid him the exact same he would have got. That's first of all.
You can't get that. That's too much money. Go ahead.
Second of all, Jonathan Taylor, I mean, they're pretty much telling him, hey, go out and seek a trade. We're not going to trade you, right? They have a mobile quarterback. Jonathan Taylor knows if that quarterback takes a lot of the snap from him, right? That's money out of his pocket.
Wait, Phil. I thought you didn't like mobile quarterbacks.
Oh, here we go.
So Phil, I disagree. I disagree with your philosophy, Phil. I think that Jonathan Taylor needs to come in, and he needs to command that offense. So I disagree with your whole philosophy about they're going to run that kid. No, they're not going to do
that.
They're not.
Okay.
No, they're going to hand the ball off a lot. They're going to use a lot of play, and due to the fact that Taylor's going to eat up them yards because he's going to get those +5, +6s. Guess what? That play action's in play. Yeah. And now with the play action, guess what? You playing man to man because you punch in the box. And now you're going to be at the mercy of this young kid sees a gap. He got a 4-3.
Oh yeah.
So you're telling me the Colts aren't going to be good because they're trading their best player? Is that all I'm hearing?
No, I think the Colts are going.
No, I'm talking about Marv.
They're not going to trade him. Marv is doubling back because Marv knows that these owners are not going to give the deal.
I'm not doubling back. I'm telling. I told you he has to come back. He can't go anywhere. That's been always my argument about these running backs that aren't happy with their deals. He's got to come back. Well, look how late into the season he's going to have to come back. He's not going to perform well at the beginning of the season.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, it takes a couple days to come back. So that's your excuse for the Colts right now? That's your only excuse?
I mean, you guys must really like Anthony Richardson. I'm like, this dude, I mean, I don't think he's that extraordinary where he's going to make the Colts win 9 games. I mean, Don is predicting 9 and 8. I don't know what Phil is predicting. Maybe
I said
9
7.
games.
I said 7.
You said so the Texans and the Colts will be 7 and 10 this season.
Correct. Yes.
Don is predicting 9 wins for a team that was a complete dumpster fire last season.
Yes.
I mean, that's a miracle. I mean, I commend you for that because, I mean, that would be tremendous.
Hold on. So once again, when Phil talking, you're not listening. Who's the quarterback coach?
I got you, but I mean that's going to be tremendous.
The same guy that helped Hurts blossom into the superstar that he is in 2022.
And it's funny, Marv picking a team where you've seen 10 years of the same quarterback, injury-prone quarterback.
There you go, calling the man injury-prone. You making up stuff now. Here you go, injury.
10 years. We've seen 10 years of Ryan Tannehill.
I'm picking 10 years where I've seen the guy succeed. Yes, I'm going with the most accomplished quarterback in this division. It's easy. He's the most accomplished quarterback, and then you got the best head coach in this division, Mike Vrabel. That's not even debatable.
Actually, Peterson.
You think Peterson is the better head coach?
Yes, I do. I think Peterson is the better.
He's got a Super Bowl ring.
Not only that, but did you see everything that he changed? And as the fact, once again, Marv, you got to go back. He helped that young quarterback.
Yes, he did.
103
QBR.
His touchdown to interception ratio is off the charts.
I don't disagree with you. I think he's done an extraordinary job with Trevor Lawrence. I think they will be pretty good this year, but I think they also got a tough schedule. They got a first-place schedule. They got the Chiefs, Bills. They got the Bengals.
They played tough last year. They played the Chiefs tough last year.
Well, that's great.
Keep going.
But I mean, tough only, close wins or close. Only good in horseshoes and hand grenades. They don't work. I don't think you're gonna have a lot of success against those 4 teams that I just named.
That's 4 games. That's 4 games, Marv. They can go 2-2 in those games. Okay. You know how I feel about the Bills.
Okay. All right. Well,
that's 4 games, Marv.
I hear you, man. I mean,
facts.
They can go 2-2, 1-3, or even 3-1.
Well, we'll see. I mean, to look back at the season where they went 9-8 and barely made the playoffs. The only reason they made the playoffs is because Tannehill got hurt. The Titans were dominating this division.
I guess Trevor Lawrence ain't had nothing to do with that, right?
No.
Oh,
right. No.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence struggled against the Titans in the final game of the season.
And Marv, you don't think that the Jacksonville, is going to pick up where they left off last year?
No.
Dude, they got a great coach. They just signed Calvin Ridley, who was a beast of a wide receiver. Yep. They got another receiver over there, Christian Kirk. They got 2 beast running backs. The defensive line is going to be nasty.
That defensive line is solid.
Yeah, defensive line is going to be nasty.
Well, we're going to see, dude. We'll see.
But you hanging on Tannehill, 10 years of,
of success.
Average,
yes.
Subpar
and
touchdowns passing yards.
Going to ignore the AFC Championship game appearance and you're going to ignore all the playoffs appearances.
But it's funny how 10 years of Derek Carr on a bad organization, right? He goes to the Saints.
But that seems to be an excuse for any quarterback. Any quarterback that you like that doesn't have success, you immediately blame the organization. It's always somebody else's fault but that quarterback. I've seen quarterbacks come in and elevate their team. From Joe Burrow, come in, elevate his team, a dumpster fire. The Bengals were dumpster fire. I've seen Drew Brees come in and elevate the Saints. The Saints were dumpster fire after Hurricane Katrina. You've seen it over and over again, but somehow this dude couldn't figure it out. His organization was so bad, they held him back. Somebody's always holding your favorite quarterback back when it's obvious that he's just not that good. You can make up all excuses you want. You can say, he stumped his toe. His offensive line wasn't good. All these lame excuses. But it's him. He's the quarterback. The quarterback leads the team. He can have success. It's up to him. Stop blaming everybody else and making up these lame excuses. The organization held him back.
I've said on the show, he had good seasons with the Raiders, right? He had good seasons with them.
2.
Okay. It's still playoff.
No, you're right. 2 good. I'm thinking of winning. You're just talking about passing yards. Right. That's the difference between you and me. You talking about he had the good seasons because he threw all the passing yards because he was throwing his team out of games. And he had to throw a lot of yards because he was always playing from behind, and that looks good. I get it. I'm thinking of wins. You're right. He did have great seasons with the Raiders.
And you don't think he can replicate that with the Saints?
Yeah, I mean,
y'all two. I mean, this conversation is sickening. Because I'm serious. I really want to like throw up. I wish I had to wrap it up, B-sign. Because I mean, You're going to say Carr's not going to do well, but at the same time, you're going to purchase a jersey once he gets you in the playoffs. And then he's saying the same thing about Cousins. Y'all like the self-licking ice cream cone, man. I'm tired of watching it.
I'm just telling you, based on history, this is what it tells me. I mean, you're just ignoring the history. You don't want to talk about it. You want to discuss it. You want to just ignore the 10 years that we've seen already. And just, oh, no, he's great. And it's like, well, I've seen it. I've seen this movie already. I already know.
So Tannehill is great to you. Tannehill is great to you.
I've seen Tannehill in the past, and I've seen him have success. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. You want me to ignore it. You want me to just ignore it and just say that, no, he's always been bad. Look at his yards and ignore his winning. Okay, if you want me to do it that way, then okay, yeah, he's bad. He's bad because he doesn't throw for a lot of yards. But in some kind of way, he wins. And to me, that's what your job is. Your job is to win.
Well, I think the Colts and Texans are going to be better than advertised. The Colts are going to win 7 games, and the Texans are going to win 7 games. And I think the Titans are going to take a step back. They drafted a quarterback in the 2nd round for a reason. Okay. Tannehill is on his way out.
Okay, that might be true. Yep.
And Mike Vrabel will be on the hot seat. They haven't done anything in the free agency. I think this team is just going to be coasting.
And here's the thing. You got Hopkins and you got Henry.
Yep.
Do you think they are trying to rebuild? The answer is not no. Hell no.
Hell no.
But hey, Marv believes in him. Well, Marv believes in him. Hey, Ryan Tannehill, go, go, go. He believes
Wait, I'm confused. I thought Don said they're not trying to rebuild. You're suggesting that they are trying to rebuild.
No, I know. I'm saying you got them 2nd in the division.
I got them 1st in the division.
Oh, well, 1st. Even hey.
Oh man, you don't.
Oh, you really? So
you feeling good today?
How many games you got? How many games?
I got them winning 10. I mean, they were 1st in the division. They were 1st in the division before Tannehill got hurt. They were first in the division the 3 seasons prior to that. I mean, this is not crazy. Like I'm picking the Texans to win the division. Or picking the Colts to win the division. I mean, I think you guys are being kind of crazy.
I'm picking the Jaguars.
I know the Jaguars are the number 1 team. Everybody else is just a rock in a pond.
And the only thing you can tell me about the Jaguars is this schedule. That's the only thing you can tell me.
No, I just told you the Titans were very good last season. Tannehill got hurt. They fell apart. And the Titans are getting Tannehill back. And things should go back to order in this division. That's what I'm telling you.
We have the QB with the low QBR. And how do you think that's going to work out when he's not going to be able to get the ball to his number 1 receiver? That's not going to work out, Marv.
I don't.
When you got a top-notch receiver, and like you just said, you got that terrible QBR that's ranked 24th in the league.
Maybe so.
How do you think that's going to happen?
You know what, Don? You bring up a very good point, but some kind of way it worked the last 4 years. You explain to me, how did it work the last 4 years? This terrible quarterback that seemingly has taken this team to the playoffs. That you told me, Derek. You told me
they did not have Hopkins.
Answer this question. You said Derrick Henry is the person that led this team to the playoffs in the past. Where's Derrick Henry? Did he leave?
No, he did not leave.
Oh, he's still there.
Contract year, so that means he's not trying to get hurt.
Whoa. Is Derrick Henry still there with the Titans?
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay.
But guess what?
Nothing has changed.
He was there last year, and guess what? Everybody's saying that. Guess what? I can punch the box because your QBR is 24th in the league, Marv.
They were 7-4 with Tannehill. Tannehill got hurt, and yes, they clogged up the box because Malik Willis couldn't throw.
Hold on. I didn't say Malik. I said. Tannehill QBR is ranked 24th. I didn't say the team. I said the quarterback.
I heard.
So he is 24th in the league, not the team. He is.
And they were 7-4.
Hopkins is the number 1. Hopkins is that. Give that Keyshawn Johnson. Give me the damn ball. And when you can't get it to him, it's gonna be smoking.
They were 7-4, and it wasn't that he had anybody. I mean, it was because he didn't have anybody to throw to. Hopkins wasn't there last season, and then they traded away Brown to the Eagles, so he had no receivers to throw to. So now he's got Hopkins.
Because
wait a minute. Wait a minute, Don. Wait a minute, Don.
Hold on, Phil. Let me get this. So the only reason they traded Brown away because they thought he was an elite quarterback, and he proved them wrong. He was not an elite quarterback. I mean, no, they traded Brown away because they thought quarterback. They thought the quarterback was a elite quarterback. I said it correctly. And guess what? He couldn't get the ball to him. And guess what? And now you're gonna bring another top tier wide receiver in. How did the first one work out?
So Don, you know I always got to fact check Marv, right? He keeps saying that the Titans went 7-4 last year, right? You know I always got to fact check Don.
Yeah,
right?
fact check me.
I mean, fact check Marv, right?
Yeah.
Let's look at the 7-4 schedule, right?
Yeah.
Let's look at the teams they beat, right?
Go.
Whoa.
Let's look at some of the teams.
Whoa. You say fact check. So were they not 7-4 with Tannehill?
No.
I'm not gonna let you do this.
We gotta check.
Were they not 7-4? Were they not 7-4? Okay, so it's not a fact check.
Hey, Bob, let me talk. It's
not a fact check.
You're trying to cut me off, right?
No, I'm not trying to cut you off.
You're trying
to suggest they weren't 7-4. You're just going through the schedule of who they beat.
Hey, Marv, you was on the floor.
No, but I'm not gonna let him try to pretend like they didn't go 7-4. He's corrected me. That's not a fact check.
Marv, you get your chance to rebuttal.
I've already rebuttal. Ain't nothing to be afraid of. They were 7-4.
Marv, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
And they were in the playoffs
FC, okay?
3 years.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the FC. Okay?
Three times before that.
I saw the fact check. Right. Let's look at some of the teams they beat.
You're going through the schedule. You're not fact checking me.
Right. Raiders trash.
Okay. That was the Derek Carr led Raiders.
No, I don't want.
Wait a minute.
They bitched them last year.
Finish, Marv.
Wait, that was your great Derek Carr.
They bitched them last year. They bitched them last year. So I don't want to hear that.
Not at the beginning of the season. Derek Carr was there.
They bitched them last year.
That's your guy.
Colts trash, dumpster fire. Commanders dumpster fire. Right. Colts again, dumpster fire. Okay. Texans dumpster fire. Right. Lost to the Chiefs. Broncos dumpster fire. Right? Packers struggling, right? They lost to the Bengals, right? Got blown out against the Eagles, blown out against the Jaguars, lost to the Chargers, lost to the Texans, lost to the Cowboys, lost to the Jaguars. Those are bad teams they beat last year, Marv. So you're telling me they beat some terrible teams last year. The Colts twice, right? They didn't play nobody last 7-4. You talking about? I'm thinking they beat the Chiefs, they beat the Eagles. No, they getting blown out by these good teams, Mark. They were terrible last year. Okay, you can blame Tannehill being hurt. All right, this schedule was brutal last year, and they got blown out against good teams and beat the bad teams. So the 7-4 you talking about?
To me, if you're going to quote me, make sure you quote everything I say. Beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and you'll make the playoffs every season. So look, the Titans don't make the schedule. You put the Raiders on there with the great Derek Carr. You put the Colts on there.
They bitched them last year.
Not at the beginning of the season, Phil. You rattled off the schedule. Derek Carr was there. He didn't get benched until the end of the season or midway through the season after the Saints shut him out 24-0. He couldn't even pass midfield. So look.
That's my point, Marv. Tannehill can't beat the good teams. That's my point. He can't beat the good teams. He's average. He's average, Marv.
Wow.
Look at his playoff losses.
I got you. He can't beat the good teams. Some kind of way he made it to the playoffs, and he was in the AFC Championship game, not beating the good teams. So I got you. I hear you. You disagree with my list. You got the Jags winning. You got the Colts coming in second, and that's fine, Phil. That's your pick.
I've seen 10 years of tape.
I know. You sure did. I know he tried to use my line, but he's using it totally incorrectly. He's ignoring the winning. He wants to see 10 years. Apparently he likes losers. He hates guys that win. Kirk Cousins, terrible.
You don't like Derek Carr.
Ryan Tannehill, terrible. Drew Brees, terrible. Lamar Jackson, terrible. Losers, he loves them. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know how to argue against that. It's like that's, to me, it's not even debatable. When you start looking at the history of some of the guys that he promotes, and it's like, man, this guy's consistently lost.
And you
blame the organization But guys
I do.
that consistently win,
Don
that
agrees
figures
the
it
Raiders
out.
were bad.
Don,
Everybody agrees.
you tell me Lamar Jackson is terrible. You wouldn't give him that money. And I'm like, Lamar Jackson is an MVP. Consistently takes his team to the playoffs, consistently wins 10 games, double-digit wins in a season. You tell me he's terrible. It's like, that's
I didn't say it was
impossible.
terrible. I didn't say it was terrible. I said 100%
And Lamar
guaranteed contract.
Jackson doesn't throw for 4,000 yards in the season. He doesn't throw for a lot of yards. I'm sure you look at his stats, you would be disappointed.
He will this year.
He would have, but he didn't.
He will this year.
Oh, he will this year. Okay,
Yes.
but history shows he hasn't. But
Okay.
I don't care about that. He wins. Winning is the most important thing to me. To me, if a quarterback is throwing for that many yards and his team loses more games than they win, then that tells me he was throwing them out of games. But we'll just end it at that. Let's wrap this thing up. Thanks for joining us. We do this thing every week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. And you guys really upset me this day, man. Phil, come on, man. I had some good picks here. What kind of foolishness is that, Phil?